Well, there have been a number of rumors of a new Ratchet and Clank, enough for me to be very confident we will have a new one very soon, and it will be big and has been worked on for some time, which has me thinking, what type of game should it be? What type of games would be cool to have in the future of the Ratchet and Clank universe? What I want, and hopefully what we will get, are games like A Crack in Time, a full Ratchet and Clank experience, and not budgeted games like the PS4 Ratchet and Clank and Nexus. Now, both of those games were fine and had great potential, but we can all admit they could have been bigger, better, and longer. And that's what I'm hoping to get out of the new Ratchet and Clank, and what I think Insomniac Games themselves have always wanted to do. Open world, perhaps open spherical world. Now, some fans, when they talk about an open world Ratchet and Clank, they honestly go way too far into some No Man's Sky type thing. That's a little too much. What I'm thinking is each planet has their own hub world in the center, and this is where you buy weapons and armor, and where you meet NPCs. Perhaps they even give you missions. The open world, the outside world, should have a less direct path, like nothing should block it except for a few areas. The areas that are blocked off open up once you get more items like gravity boots or some sort of flying contraption. To put that visually in your mind, think of a mix between the Warframe open world and Jack 2 open world, only less limited. Now, the tone and story, honestly, I'm fine with what they did in the future series, but it would be nice if they added some of the silly, raunchy stuff in the PS2 era. And like any other fan, I would like more of the Lombax story explored, because honestly, just looking at the awesome concept art for the Nexus Lombax soldiers, that's enough for me to stay interested in these species. The villain story, well, it could be a team up of Tachyon and Zog, as we saw them in Dimension A266. In terms of gameplay, basically what we all come to know, but more weapon level ups, mods, transformations, more weapons in general, more armor, more open space system when it comes to flight combat. Of course, the balance of combat platforming should be about 70-30, with there being more action. Co-op or a form of online multiplayer would also be nice. Now, that's basically my idea for a new Ratchet and Clank that could logically happen. Now I want to talk about the games beyond that and more exotic ideas. While I can guarantee you the next game won't be some grand prequel about the story of Caden. But beyond that, who's to say what the future holds? RTS, MMO, dating sim, maybe, but what I would like most of all is an RPG. An action RPG. This would go great with the open world idea in my opinion. I think it would also be a good opportunity to expand the general basic melee combat. Perhaps make Ratchet a bit more acrobatic. Perhaps the wrench and weapons can have a skill tree. And please, can we bring back dual wielding? Another idea I had is, while I think literal summoning is a bit too magical, I think you can get away with it when it comes to bots like Mr. Zircon. But instead of just summoning it, it would be one or more bots that are upgradable and customizable, but you get the parts from unlocking places in the world and winning arena battles, as well as generally leveling up. Speaking of bots, there needs to be something for Clank. Maybe he can be the upgradable robot, but if not, perhaps his levels can be something like Pikmin, where he can basically go around and use little bots for various purposes. You should be able to get missions from random people in the world, or start by incorporating random events that happen on each planet. Story and tone, we could push it even further. A game that takes place in the Lombax dimension, and perhaps the return of the Nethers as well. And it could be basically a combination of this exotic future background against something basically supernatural. Also explore much of the Lombax history and Ratchet's destiny Sydney in every location. Oh, and how could I forget Angela? Yes, we should bring back old Angela Cross and incorporate her in the story in a minor yet meaningful way. She is a Lombax after all. And while we're at it, let's bring back a few old favorites like Ace Hartlike and Courtney Gears. Lots of potential in both of those characters. And that's my idea overall. Keep Ratchet and Clank core, but with bigger worlds, open areas, deeper leveling, and customization. Maybe throw in some neat RPG stats and numbers, but still keep it Ratchet and Clank and not something like No Man's Sky or Borderlands. Tell me what you guys think. Would you like some of these ideas incorporated into the next Ratchet and Clank, or are they a little too exotic? Please like and sub and let me know in the comments. Later.